The message came in at 2:14 a.m. "You are not my dad anymore. I have a new dad. He's Mom's new boyfriend." I stared at my phone, rereading those words like they might somehow rearrange themselves into something less cruel. But they didn't. They stayed sharp, final, and deliberate, just like her. I had just paid her fall semester tuition a week earlier, $24,000 wired directly to the college. No thank you, no call, just this. My daughter, the one I'd raised since diapers, now carrying another man's last name and cutting me out like a tumor. She even blocked me on everything. No contact, not a word. Her mother, my ex-wife, had left me 3 years ago for her gym trainer. She'd moved in with him barely a month after our divorce was finalized. And now, my daughter had followed. They say betrayal doesn't come from enemies. They're wrong. It hurts far more when it comes from your own blood. I used to believe we were a normal family. Dinners at 7, Sunday movie nights, vacations we couldn't afford, but took anyway just to see our daughter smile. For years, I thought I was doing everything right. Building a stable home, working extra hours, showing up for every parent-teacher night, every recital, every birthday. But sometimes lies grow quietly, like mold behind the walls, and by the time you smell the rot, it's already too late. I first noticed something was off when Karen, my wife, started staying late at yoga. She never liked yoga. She'd laugh at those tight pants and overpriced mats. But suddenly, she had 4 sessions a week. She started hiding her phone, started sleeping with it under her pillow. She got in shape fast, too fast, and started wearing makeup just to go grocery shopping. I confronted her once, calmly. I remember saying, "Is there someone else?" And she didn't even flinch, just stared back at me and said, "Maybe if you were more of a man, I wouldn't need someone else." Our daughter heard that fight. She was standing in the hallway. She didn't say a word. She just turned around and went back to her room. That silence became routine. I started noticing she wouldn't look me in the eye anymore. Karen poisoned her, slowly, skillfully. She told her things about me that weren't true. Said I was controlling, cold, emotionally distant. None of it was real. But kids, they believe what they want to believe, especially when the truth is complicated and the lie feels easier to carry. By the time we divorced, our daughter had already picked sides, and I wasn't on hers. When her college acceptance letter came in, I cried. Not in front of her, of course. Pride doesn't always know how to show itself. But I was proud. She was going to a good university, one I couldn't have even dreamed of when I was her age. I spent days figuring out finances, moving money, sacrificing my retirement fund, just to make it happen. That's what parents do. I paid the full first year's tuition in one go. $48,000 wired from my account. No questions, no strings. 2 days later, she posted a photo online with her new last name, her mother's boyfriend's last name. I found out through a friend I was already blocked. Then came the message. "You are not my dad anymore. I have a new dad. He's Mom's new boyfriend." That wasn't just a slap in the face. It was a knife in the chest. I'd spent 2 decades raising her. She used to sit on my shoulders at the zoo, used to call me Super Dad. I was there for her first heartbreak, first job interview, first broken bone. And now I was just deleted. People told me to take legal action to demand the money back. But what would that do? She wasn't some stranger who scammed me. She was my child. At least, I thought she was. I didn't respond to her message, didn't rant, didn't beg. I just sat in my car in the driveway for an hour, engine off, wondering what exactly I'd done so wrong to deserve this. Turns out, love doesn't come with guarantees, not even when you've given everything. 3 years passed. I moved, new job, new home, therapy mostly. I stopped checking her social media, not that I could see anything anyway. I stopped wondering if she'd call on my birthday. She didn't, not once. I stopped hoping. Until one evening, early fall, leaves crunching outside, I heard a knock, not a polite tap, a desperate, frantic banging. I opened the door, and there she was. My daughter, or rather, the girl who used to be my daughter. She looked thinner, dark circles under her eyes, hair unwashed, voice shaky. She tried to smile, but it cracked before it even reached her eyes. "Dad, I need help." That word, Dad. It hung in the air like a ghost. I stared at her, not with anger, not even with sadness anymore. Just stillness. I took a slow breath, and then I said, "Who are you?" She blinked like she'd been slapped. "It's me. It's me," she said, her voice cracking. "Please, I don't have anywhere else to go." Then her eyes shifted, past me, over my shoulder, and they widened. A mix of confusion and disbelief froze her in place, because standing right behind me, calm as ever, holding 2 mugs of coffee, was the woman who changed everything. My fiancé, the one who had seen me broken, stayed and helped me rebuild. And her son, a teenage boy, who called me Dad now from the couch inside. My daughter opened her mouth, then shut it. She realized, maybe for the first time, that I had moved on too. We sat in the living room. She held the coffee cup with both hands, like it might stop them from shaking. I didn't say much at first. Just let the silence sit. Let her feel it. Let her realize that some bridges don't burn. They crumble and vanish. "I didn't know where else to go," she finally said. I nodded. "So now I exist again?" She winced. "I was angry. I thought you didn't care." I laughed, not cruelly, just hollow. "Angry? You changed your name. You blocked me. You said I wasn't your father." "I was confused," she whispered. "Mom said, 'Don't,'" I cut in, sharper than I intended. "You were 18, not a child. You knew what you were doing. And you didn't just walk away, you erased me. After everything." She didn't argue. Her eyes were glassy now. "I thought he would take care of us. Mom's boyfriend. He promised things, said you were toxic." I leaned forward, elbows on my knees. "And what did he promise you that I didn't give you? Love? Support? A future? I paid for your dream, and you spat on it." Tears slipped down her face now. "I'm sorry." I stared at her, unsure if those words were too late or just hollow. "You know the worst part," I said. "I didn't lose you the day you blocked me. I lost you long before that, when you stopped seeing me as your father and started seeing me as the villain in her story." She looked down. I was stupid. "No," I said coldly. "You were selfish." The silence stretched. Finally, I stood up. "You're not homeless. I'm not heartless. You'll stay tonight. But don't expect us to pick up where we left off. That version of me, the man who'd do anything for you without question, you buried him." She nodded slowly, face pale, lips trembling. "Sometimes, forgiveness doesn't come wrapped in hugs. Sometimes it sounds like the truth, spoken clearly, finally, after years of lies." She stayed that night, slept in the guest room with the door half open, maybe a habit from childhood, maybe a silent plea not to be shut out completely. I didn't sleep much. My fiancé asked if I was okay. I told her I didn't know, The next morning, I found my daughter at the kitchen table, still wearing the same clothes. Her eyes were red, but not from sleep. She hadn't touched the breakfast we left out. "I've been sleeping on a friend's couch for 3 months," she said quietly. "Mom's boyfriend kicked her out. He hit her. I tried to help, but she trailed off. She chose him, again." I didn't say anything. "I used to think you were cold," she continued. "Strict, too logical. But now I see you were just consistent. You showed up, every time." I nodded slowly. "Love isn't loud. It's not flowers or empty promises. It's showing up." She swallowed hard. "Can we fix this?" I looked at her. Not the girl I remembered, but the woman sitting in front of me. Cracked, not broken. Humbled, maybe for the first time. "I don't know," I said honestly. "Forgiveness isn't a switch. Trust doesn't grow back overnight." She nodded. No tears this time. Just quiet acceptance. "I'm not asking to be your daughter again," she whispered. "I just want a chance to earn it back." And that was something. Over the next few weeks, she got a part-time job. Stayed with us, but followed rules. Helped around the house. Ate dinners with us, quietly, politely. Some nights we'd talk. About music, memories, stupid things from her childhood I thought she'd forgotten. She remembered more than I expected. It wasn't perfect. Sometimes I'd catch myself watching her like a stranger. Sometimes she'd pause before calling me Dad, as if testing whether the words still fit. But we were trying. That was more than I ever thought I'd get. 3 months later, she applied to go back to college, this time with her own money, her own name. And on her application form, under emergency contact, she wrote my name. Not new dad, not mom, me. Not because she expected anything, but because maybe, just maybe, she understood now what being a father really meant. Not presents, not money, not blood, but staying. Even when you're given every reason to leave.